this is the first podcast of yearmusicplug.com,
Yeah.
and we are thankful for having General Zooz as our first guest. General, you can just tell about who are you, where are you from, and what is your story like?
Yeah, well, my name is General Zooz. I am a co-founder of Reggae Rajas. We have been promoting reggae music, dancehall music, music from the Caribbean in India for the last almost 12 years now. And I'm a DJ, I'm an MC, a singer, and I also organize a music festival called Goa Sunsplash, which is now in its sixth year of existence. It's a festival that promotes the kind of music I love, which is mainly music from the Caribbean, some African music, some world music, some Latin music as well. I am based in Bombay, but I started everything in Delhi, started Reggae Rajas in Delhi. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and looking forward to our chat.
Yes. So, how was Delhi when you first started out? Uh, what were you planning, and what was the plan about?
Well, Delhi was a very sort of nascent, uh, bubbling sort of scene when we first started Reggae Rajas. A lot of music acts that have been successful in the last few years have come out of Delhi and come out of the same time that we were kind of doing our thing. So it was a very exciting time to be starting something because a lot of people in the sort of indie music scene were also starting. So a lot of us started together or kind of met somewhere during, various points in our journey. For example, someone like Nuclear, he was very, very close to us at that time in Delhi. He was based in Delhi and he's much senior to us. So he's been, obviously been around much longer than Reggae Rajas, but we found ourselves in the same city at the same time when things were starting to happen for indie music. So, Nuclear was someone who we played a lot of gigs with in Delhi, someone who we formed a good bond with. Other acts like Delhi Sultanate, the Scavengers, Base Foundation, Dualist Inquiry, Pratik Kuhad also was around the same time, so a lot of good music that is now popular in India started in Delhi around the same time as us. And it was a very interesting time to be in the indie music scene because we also all kind of knew and supported each other. Now I think the indie music scene is much bigger. And now the people who are into reggae or into this vibe, they know each other. The people who are into the EDM or electronic, they know each other. People who are into you know uh, certain types of music, they only know each other. But back then we were all supporting each other and we all knew each other quite well. So yeah, it was a very nice time to be in Delhi at that time.
Yes, and how did you start about with the Reggae Rajas? Who came up with the concept, and how the group formed?
Well, there are three of us who started Reggae Rajas. There's DJ Mo City, who is now the founder of Box Out FM, which is the most important radio station we have in India pushing independent underground music. It's an online platform. If you don't know Box Out, you should definitely check out Box Out FM. It's like I said, DJ Mo City's brainchild. DJ Mo City is a personality who's been active in Delhi scenes since probably 2004 or 2005 as a promoter, as a DJ. He started with hip hop, organizing hip hop nights, playing hip hop music. and now he's kind of progressed into different genres of music. Um, but yeah, he was one of the founders of Reggae Rajas. I think he brought a lot of things to the table, like knowing how to promote events and knowing how to kind of make things happen in terms of us as a music group. Then there was Raghav Diggy Dang, who is a musician, a guitarist, and a singer. Um, he had just returned from London with a lot of experience of reggae music. I think he'd been to a lot of shows. He'd really been bitten by the reggae bug. And then there was me, who'd also, in the same way to Raghav, I had also lived in America for a while, listened to a lot of reggae music over the last few years before coming back to India. And then we all kind of found ourselves in Delhi together, and we vaguely knew each other. This was in 2008. We kind of knew each other, and we came together at a celebration of Bob Marley that Mo City was hosting. It was a Bob Marley's birthday event, and we all were there, and we talked, and we said, "Look, we love reggae. Why don't we start something to push reggae music regularly?" So actually, Reggae Rajas just started as something out of passion. We didn't really know where it would go or what it would become. It was more about just playing music that we loved, and we felt people in Delhi and in India generally were not really listening to, and there was no real opportunity for someone who loved this type of music. So yeah, that's really how it started.
Yes, and you have many talents from the beginning. So, is it from the childhood that you are growing up with all these kinds of talents or all these kinds of activities you are doing, or it was like late teens or something?
No, I think, I've loved entertaining and I've loved performance since I was young, since I can remember. I've loved dressing up in costumes and, putting on a show, acting in plays when I was young, little theater things, putting on performances. That's always been part of me. And I think, you know, it's kind of just, yeah, been with me for many, many years and maybe started to express itself more and more over the last couple of years.
Yes. You had a trek just a week ago. So, how was the trek, and the reggae culture and trek always goes together, like the vibes and all. So, do you love mountains?
I love the mountains, brother. I love nature. I love being, just in a place where you can reconnect with things that are really important in life. Because at the end of it, I think in cities, we tend to lose focus. We tend to forget what are really the important things in our life, what can really make ourselves happy, where am I my happiest? And I have to say, when I am in nature, I am happy and I am free and I feel very, very good. When I am stuck in a city, worried about all sorts of things like making money or coronavirus or pollution or whatever it is, it brings my energy down. So being in a place like the mountains, you just feel free. And you're right, I think trekking, nature, I think these things are very close to reggae music in terms of their ethos and in terms of the philosophy um, that the music has. It's very reflective of being one with nature, oneness, one love, one world, caring for the environment, caring for your surroundings, being conscious about the world you live in. So yeah, I love being in nature, and the trek was superb.
Great, man. Great to hear it. And what do you think, like new artist or new indie artist should be doing to get into their zone or have regularity and never to lose their hope for putting out music and all?
Well, that's a difficult question because I think it's really a journey. So no matter what advice I give, it's only when you make choices yourself, you make maybe mistakes yourself, you'll understand, how to kind of progress. But I think the main thing that I can say, and something that, as Reggae Rajas, as General Zooz, something which I've always been very adamant about is to be myself and to really express myself, not really try and be like anyone, you know? Because I think at the end of it, as an independent artist, someone who wants to make a mark, someone who wants to, someone who's pursuing what they love, you have to be true to yourself, you know? And that
Right.
means, being the next you, not trying to be the next Nuclear or the next Ritviz or the next Reggae Rajas or the next whoever, I think Divine or whatever. You've got to be who you are inside you. And I think people will appreciate you for that. No matter how long it may take, that appreciation will come.
Right. And you had a really great, energetic performance at Vh1 Supersonic with Surreal.
Ah,
How do you feel about going to festivals and being the MC of a great personality like Surreal, and the crowd going crazy, and you're all jumping around?
I love it, man. I love it. I love festivals. I love the big stage. I love entertaining people. I love seeing people happy. That makes me happy. If I can make a crowd happy, I can make them enjoy, then I feel good. I think that's what people go to music festivals for, is to be happy, to enjoy, to do something different, to let loose. So I think as an MC, that's always my first intention, is to make people have fun and to get people involved and be interactive. I'm not the most lyrical MC. I'm not the most with the crazy lyrics and all that. That's not really my strength. you know a lot of MCs are all about rapping and the lyrics, and everyone's like, whoa, crazy lyrics, bro. But that's not my style. My style is to uplift people with energy. So I really enjoy it. And as to the collaboration with Surreal, he's a good friend of mine. We've worked on a lot of music together. He's again one of those artists from Delhi, that came at the same time as Reggae Rajas. We were all there together. So there's a strong bond with Surreal. I really respect him for the work he puts in. He's a very hardworking producer and DJ. He's also come a long way. I've seen his journey as an artist, and yeah, I respect him a lot. I love the connection we have, the rapport we have, and hopefully we'll be doing many more shows together once this virus scene is a little more sorted out.
And talking about festivals, you have your own festival, Goa Sunsplash. So, when did it all start, and how the whole concept came together?
Well, Goa Sunsplash is really a collaborative idea. There were a few of us who kind of came together and decided, yes, okay, let's do this. I think Reggae Rajas obviously being a big part of that. But then there are people in Goa who have been pushing reggae music now for many years, working very hard, like Rudy Roots and 10,000 Lions Sound System. There's Dr. Dub in Hyderabad, who's been pushing sound system culture and reggae culture for a long time. So I think we all came together, and we were, at this point where, like, now is the time for a reggae festival in India, and where better place than Goa? So this was about 6 years ago, and we started small. We started just with the 10,000 Lion sound system powering our festival. It was a sound system festival. I think there was about 600 people there the first year. one day. And now, it's progressed to a 3-day festival, 3 stages, live music, big bands, and it's, yeah, almost 3,000 people a day, 2,500 people a day. So it's come a long way from then. It's been quite a journey.
Yes. And what do you think about what is the future for now reggae and the non-mainstream genres out here in India?
Well, the future is only getting brighter, I mean, it has to. I mean, if you look at the things which are getting popular, the types of different types of music and bands that are getting popular, the future is bright. I think in many ways, Reggae Raja has kind of maybe, cleared away or at least alerted people that, hey, there's something called reggae music. It has this killer vibe. You can also
Yes.
enjoy it. I think that was kind of our job, you know, just to let people know, hey, guys, hey, India, there's something called reggae music, you know, you can enjoy it too. And now I think it's up to the new generation of reggae artists, the new reggae musicians, new, reggae MCs and DJs to come in and really take it to the next level um, when it comes to reggae. I think, for example, something like hip hop has exploded in our country over the last 5 years, maybe. It's become really, really big now. And when we first started, it was not so big. It was not at all so big. So, in the same way, I think reggae can also grow because don't forget, reggae and hip hop are like cousins. They
Yeah.
come from a very similar place, and I don't see any reason why a lot of these rappers, they might start listening to reggae and be like, hey, that's cool. That's like hip hop, but it's a little different. It has some cool Jamaican style, some different flavor. Let me try doing a track like that. So I'm hoping more and more of that kind of thing happens. Like, for example, Divine, Divine, right?
Yes, yes.
So he just made a track, just dropped it a few days ago with a Jamaican artist called Stylo G.
Right,
The track's
right.
name is Mirchi.
Yes.
So if Divine is doing a song with a Jamaican reggae singer, that means more and more young kids in India are going to be like, hey, that's cool. Who is this guy on Divine's track? Jamaican style. Let me check his music. Let me see who he is. You know? So hopefully
Right.
that's how we keep growing and keep developing in India.
Yes. And do you have any suggestions for musicians, artists going through this COVID phase and how they can go through and have a base or foundation for themselves and take something positive out of this experience?
Well, look, I think this time of COVID is a difficult time for all musicians. All gigs have been closed for months. No one's been making money from live music. It's been challenging, but I think this is the perfect time for people to maybe just rethink about things. Where are they heading? Where is the path for them? Um, it's also a great time to make music. It's a great time to strategize. It's a great time to work on music videos. It's a great time to use the internet as a tool to market yourself, social media, if you can do that. You know, there are so many things as a musician you can do right now, even if you're not able to do live gigs. Um, so I think it's a really good time just to strategize and really be like, okay, I don't have live gigs right now, but you know what? Maybe I'm going to write some rhymes and put them on Instagram. Maybe I'm going to make a music sample and put it on YouTube. There are so many different ways you can still stay relevant and at least build your fan base, at this point.
And are we expecting the festival to run this year?
I can't say. It doesn't look good, if I'm honest with you, because a music festival of the size of Sunsplash requires a lot of planning. And in this current global climate, it's impossible to plan, because you don't know what's happening day to day. So it's not looking good. At least for January, that's traditionally when our festival is. It's in January. But who knows? Maybe later on in the year, if things, open up and relax a bit, then maybe later on in the year we can figure something out. Let's see.
Yes. And Reggae Rajas did a mix for Toots as he had uh, the anniversary. So, what is his influence on you, and how did it grow into something bigger?
Toots?
Yes,
Well, Toots is, one of the all-time Jamaican greats. He is a legendary singer and entertainer. I think anyone who listens to reggae music has been affected by Toots and the Maytals at some point. Like you hear of Bob Marley as the king, and of course he is the king. But I think Toots is one of those artists that almost paved the way for Bob Marley. Because let's not forget that Toots was around before Bob Marley. And Toots made many hit songs before Bob Marley did, and also took reggae to an international audience before Bob Marley did. So for me personally, I have been impacted by Toots, of course, through his music, through his melodies, his songwriting. But I remember seeing him live, must have been about 15 years ago now, and his energy was incredible. you know there's something very special about the energy that reggae singers and performers have on a stage. They know how to really get the crowd, pull them in, captivate them. And Toots for me was one of the greatest at this specifically. He was an incredible entertainer, and in many ways, I was like, wow, I would love to be like that on a stage. He had charisma, he had style, he had fashion sense. It was all very, very impressive. As someone watching a performance, you're like, wow, this guy is incredible. So yeah, I think he's undeniably someone who's a great, a legend for reggae music. And he was someone I would have loved to have brought down for Sunsplash. He was one of my top choices to headline Goa Sunsplash at some point, and unfortunately, we couldn't make that happen. But yeah, his music still lives on, and his legacy still lives on.
and do you have anything you will be releasing or something in for the audience coming soon?
I do. I have three tunes actually that I've just recently finished up with, and at least two of those tunes will be out before the end of this year. Um, there is one which is a collaboration with Surreal, which is a different track. It's not, it's a space that I've not really explored before, but I think it's something which people will enjoy. It's different. And then there is another track I've been working on. It's more reggae style, roots reggae style, that is coming out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I actually just shot the music video on the track that I was on. So,
Great, man.
yeah, so it's coming soon.
Yes, yes. So really appreciate it that you have taken out time for having this interview, and just let the audience know where can they find you.
Best place to find me right now, like everyone else, I'm sure, is Instagram. That is definitely the best place to follow me if you're interested in my music, or my acting or my films or anything like that. That's the best place to stay up to date. Other than that, my music is on Spotify, it's on iTunes, a lot of cool music videos on YouTube. So yeah, stay in touch.
Yeah, man. Have a great one.
Thank you very much, Sri. All the best with the podcast. All the best with your endeavors.
Yeah, man. Really appreciate it. All the best to you.
Anytime.